What was Roman legal procedure? Have you ever wondered how justice was served in ancient Rome? The Roman legal procedure was a fascinating system that shaped the way disputes were resolved. It evolved through three main stages, each reflecting the changing dynamics of Roman society. Let's take a closer look at how this system worked. The first stage is known as Legis Actiones, which lasted from around the 5th century before the Common Era to the late 2nd century before the Common Era. This was a highly formal and ritualized process. It began with the plaintiff publicly summoning the defendant to court. If the defendant did not show up, he could be forcibly brought to court. The trial had two parts. First, there was a preliminary hearing before a magistrate. This magistrate determined if a legal issue existed and defined the dispute. The language used in this phase was very strict. If the plaintiff did not use the exact words or formulae, the case could be lost. The second part of the trial was before a judex, a layman chosen by the parties involved. This part was more informal. The judex heard evidence and arguments before making a decision. Importantly, the judex did not have the power to enforce the judgment. If the losing party refused to comply, the magistrate could enforce the judgment by seizing property or even enslaving the debtor to satisfy the claim. Next came the Formulary System, which took place from the 2nd century before the Common Era to the 3rd century of the Common Era. This system replaced the rigid Legis Actiones with more flexible written formulas issued by a magistrate known as the praetor. The magistrate framed the legal issue in a formula that instructed the judex on how to decide based on the facts presented. This allowed for more adaptability in the law and procedure. The trial still involved a lay judex chosen by the parties who conducted the hearing and rendered a verdict. The magistrate's formula defined the legal grounds and conditions for judgment, blending judicial oversight with private adjudication. The final stage is known as Cognitio Extraordinaire, which emerged in the post-classical period. In this phase, the procedure became more centralized. Magistrates or imperial officials handled the entire case, including investigation, trial, and enforcement. This system was less formal and more inquisitorial, with professional judges replacing lay judices. This evolution laid the groundwork for modern civil law procedures. Roman legal procedure also distinguished between proceedings in ire, which took place before the magistrate, and apud iudicem, the actual trial before the judex. Magistrates had significant power to grant or deny remedies and shape the form of legal actions. Jurists or legal experts advised magistrates and parties, influencing the development of Roman legal principles. Enforcement of judgments could involve property seizure or personal penalties like debt slavery, reflecting the practical realities of Roman society. From the perspective of European history, Roman legal procedure is significant. It established foundational principles and structures that influenced the development of Western legal systems, especially civil law traditions. The formal division between magistrates and judges, the use of written legal formulas, and the evolving role of judicial authority contributed to a legal culture that shaped European concepts of justice and legal administration for centuries. The Roman concept of justice, embedded in these procedures, emphasized public order and legal formality as a means to resolve disputes and maintain social stability.